Throughout his life, Jesus performed countless miraculous acts that have bewildered both believers and skeptics alike. Join us on this exciting journey to discover some of the most astonishing miracles this extraordinary man carried out. Number 1. The transformation of water into wine is one of the most well-known miracles of Jesus of Nazareth and is recounted in the Gospel of John in the New Testament of the Bible. This event occurred during a wedding in Cana of Galilee, a small village in the northern region of Israel. The story begins when Jesus, along with his mother Mary and some of his disciples, was invited to the wedding. During the celebration, an unexpected problem arose. The wine had run out. This was a significant social and cultural issue at the time, as it was seen as a sign of lacking hospitality and could embarrass the hosts in front of their guests. Mary, noticing the problem, approached Jesus and said, "They have no wine." To which Jesus replied, "What do I have to do with you, woman? My time has not yet come." At first, it seems Jesus is refusing his mother's request. However, despite this, Mary told the servants to do whatever Jesus instructed. The account continues with Jesus asking the servants to fill 6 large stone jars with water to the brim. These jars could hold between 20 to 30 gallons each, equivalent to about 75 to 115 liters. After filling the jars, Jesus instructed them to serve the content to the master of the feast. To their astonishment, upon tasting the liquid, they found the water had been turned into a high-quality, exquisite wine. This stunned the banquet managers, who couldn't understand how this miracle had occurred. The transformation of water into wine was Jesus' first public miracle, showcasing his power and divinity to those present. It marked the beginning of his ministry and laid the foundation for future miracles throughout his life. Mary's presence and request to Jesus in this event are significant as they underline her special role as Jesus' mother and her intercessory role before him. Even though Jesus initially seemed reluctant, in the end, he complied with his mother's request. According to the account, the transformation of water into wine revealed Jesus' glory and affirmed his identity as the awaited Messiah. The disciples present believed in him and began to understand that he possessed divine power. Number 2, the healing of the man born blind is a touching account of one of the most astonishing miracles performed by Jesus. This event is recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 9, in the New Testament of the Bible. The story begins with Jesus and his disciples encountering a man born blind as they walked through Jerusalem. The disciples asked Jesus if the man's blindness was a result of his or his parents' sin. At that time, it was believed that illnesses or disabilities were divine punishments for sins committed either by the afflicted individual or their parents. However, Jesus replied that neither the man nor his parents had sinned and that the blindness had a different purpose. Moved by the man's situation, Jesus decided to miraculously heal him. Instead of merely speaking a word or touching him, which he had done on other occasions to heal the sick, Jesus employed an unusual method. He spat on the ground to make mud with his saliva and the dirt. He then applied this mud to the blind man's eyes. Next, Jesus instructed the man to go to the pool of Siloam and wash. The pool of Siloam was known in Jerusalem for its fresh and pure water. The blind man, with faith and obedience, followed Jesus' instructions and washed in the pool. To everyone's astonishment, when he washed his eyes, he regained his sight, seeing for the first time in his life. This miracle left those who witnessed it in awe. The news spread quickly and caught the attention of the Jewish religious leaders. They questioned the healed man and his parents, trying to deny the miracle and discredit Jesus. However, the once blind man boldly testified about what had happened and how Jesus was the reason for his healing. Number 3, the multiplication of the loaves and fishes is one of Jesus' most iconic and powerful miracles, recounted in all 4 Gospels of the New Testament: Matthew 14:13, Mark 6:30, Luke 9:10, and John 6:1. This event took place near the Sea of Galilee on a day when a large crowd had followed Jesus to hear his teachings and seek healing. The story starts when Jesus, with his disciples, withdrew to a secluded place to rest after a demanding period of teaching and ministry. However, the crowd, with great spiritual and physical need, followed and found them there. Instead of turning them away, Jesus felt compassion for them and healed the sick among them. As the day wore on, the disciples became concerned about the people's hunger. They suggested that Jesus send the crowd away so they could find food in the nearby villages. Instead, Jesus challenged his disciples, saying, "You give them something to eat." This was a perplexing request, given that the disciples only had 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, which was obviously not enough to feed thousands of people. Yet Jesus took what they had, gave thanks to God, and miraculously multiplied the loaves and fishes. As the disciples distributed the food, everyone ate and was satisfied. To their amazement, after feeding thousands, the disciples collected 12 baskets full of leftovers, indicating the abundance of Jesus' provision. This miracle, beyond merely addressing the crowd's immediate physical needs, served to demonstrate Jesus' divine power and compassion. It also taught the disciples a valuable lesson about faith, trust, and relying on Jesus in challenging situations. These are just 3 of the numerous miracles Jesus performed during his life on earth. Each one tells a story, not just of the supernatural, but of compassion, love, faith, and the divine nature of Jesus. His miracles weren't just displays of power, but were also significant events that demonstrated his character and mission, showing the world who he truly was. They remain a testimony to his love, mercy, and divine authority. Today, countless people around the world believe in the accounts of Jesus' miracles and draw hope, inspiration, and faith from them. These events are powerful reminders of God's love and care for humanity, transcending time, culture, and history.